The way the red rings pulsed ever so slightly. It was hard not to get lost in such unique irises. Uh, um, you fell over your words, mouth suddenly dry. Something caught your eye? Or is something on my face, Dove? I I can't. He can't be the one. He's too scary. He's too scary. Hello, and welcome to A Date at the Cemetery. If you're new here, hi, I'm Voyia. And welcome in, have a seat. Sit down, relax, enjoy yourself. Are you good? Good, I'm glad. It would mean the world to me if you liked, comment, and subscribed. And with all that being said, let's get into the date, because oh my God, he's fine. Please don't hurt me. I'm so scared. Please don't hurt me. Sometimes dating in Colorado felt harder than it had any right to be. Never been to Colorado, would like to go one day. You search in places no one should ever have to search. Like speed dating with a guy who looked twice your age and still lives in his mother's basement. Ew. Or maybe it was the endless void of Tinder where every swipe led to the same dead-end conversation where it was clear most people only wanted one thing. You really did try, honestly, but despite all your efforts, you came up empty. That was until that night. You went to some overrated, overpriced warehouse party with bad lighting and ear-deafening music. I'm not a party girl. I'm really not a party. I'm like a stay at home. Let's go in and order food and stay at home. Not exactly your scene, but your friends had practically dragged you here. Put yourself out there, they said. Meet someone new, someone different, they said. And someone different it was. You just gone through a messy breakup. And let's face it, far too many nights spent single. You weren't exactly desperate, but it would have been nice to have someone to talk to. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I'm so happy and grateful for song every day. Someone to share a drink with, or maybe something more. Romantically speaking, of course. And that's how you met Avon. Okay, who is Avon? Oh my God. He looks better right here than he did on the front screen. Am I tripping? He looks good. Oh my goodness. Though it wasn't exactly the stuff of fairy tales. Not in some our eyes met across the room kind of way or love at first sight. Oh no, you met him face first, practically body slamming him in your drunken sprint to the bathroom. Turns out that one shot too many and your lifelong lightweight status didn't mix too well. Who knew? I'm a lightweight too when it comes to alcohol. I don't drink. And I'm a social drinker, and when I do socially drink, I have one drink, and that's about it. I have always been that way, but I am a lightweight. But instead of brushing you off like any other shitey college guy would, he helped. He actually helped. Held your hair back like some knight in a slightly wrinkled flannel that's been washed way too many times to count. Make sure you didn't pass out on the cold tiles on the bathroom floor as your lunch made its ever so grand reappearance in the toilet. He stayed until the room stopped spinning, or at least slowed down a little. Now, normally, you don't give your number out to a random guy you've only known for a duration of a bad life choice. But after someone's literally held your hair while your dignity shot through your mouth, it would have been rude not to. Of course. This guy just literally sat here, held your hair back while you spewed everywhere. Of course it would be rude. So here you are, in the car of a guy who helped you while you were involuntarily purging your stomach. What the frick am I doing here? You must have been scowling because you were snapped out of your thoughts by a smooth and soft voice. Oh, he is so cute. He is cute. Oh, he is so cute. What are you thinking about? You got that far off look, like an angry cat. Was it that obvious? He stifled a small laugh, glancing over slowly. Excuse me, I was going to say shortly. Slowly. I don't know where my brain is. Well, now you look confused. Are you planning your escape route or something? He was always so teasing, even over text after the party. Now was no different. Oh, me? Just thinking about how we met. It was an odd way to meet a date, that's for sure, but he wanted to give it a chance. Ah, the party, right? You could barely remember your own name. Wait, what was it again? Oh, you little... He smirked, clearly teasing. You narrowed your eyes, but played along anyway. Everyone knows my name. Everyone knows my name. Right. Voyia. You turned in offense, laughing in shock. Hey, first date and you're still teasing me? He chuckled and rolled his eyes, keeping one hand on the steering wheel, putting his free hand up in a sign of fraying defeat. Force a habit, I suppose. Avon is so cute. Oh my God. I'll have you know, I excel at first dates. And hey, you haven't jumped out the car yet, so that must mean you don't mind it. Kinda like a knight in shining armor that doubles as a court gesture. Oh, a court gesture is just perfect for him, I guess. He does have a little clowny look on his face. He said, thinking for a moment, keeping his eye on the road now. And now I get the honor of spending the night with you? I must be on a roll. His little smirk is killing me. You roll your eyes, but couldn't help the smile tugging at the corner of your lips. His confidence was ridiculous, borderline cheesy, but charming. The soft hum of the lo-fi music played in the background, easing some of the tension in your chest. Something about Avon made it easy to breathe, made you feel safe. Even now, from the very beginning, when most people would have just handed you a napkin and walked away, he stuck around. He's always felt genuine, even if he was practically a stranger. Say, you into lo-fi? Yeah, I do. I do listen to lo-fi randomly, too. Avon smiled. He seems to like it. Nice. I knew you had good taste. You chuckled. Honestly, Voyia, you'd be surprised how many people only listen to it for studying or background noise. But I don't know. I find it calming. Helps clear the mental static a bit. You get me? Yeah, I see that. I do listen to it for background noise and stuff, but I also listen to it just to listen to it. It's like you said, it's calming, it's relaxing. It kind of takes your brain into, I don't know, a calming area, something that you think is just relaxing. Sometimes nostalgic too. I get a nostalgic feeling off of lo-fi music. I smile at him, considering his opinion. I get why you like it. He leans back in his seat, red eyes half closed as the mellow beat filled the dark car, head bobbing gently. So, where exactly are you taking me? A slight smirk played on Avon's handsome face. You'll see. It's a surprise. A surprise? You're not about to murder me in the woods or something, are you? Avon chortled at the idea. I'd have been like, what? Do we need to go home? Because that is not something that somebody should say. What? No, I don't even have a weapon on me. Relax. Okay, Avon, don't you kill me out here. The night breeze shifted past you as you looked at your surroundings. Of course. You stared confused into the void of an unfamiliar parking lot. Wait, this is your surprise? A parking lot? I gave a nervous chuckle, trying not to seem rude. Not quite. There's that teasing tone again. We're getting there. We're going there. Avon pointed just beyond the parking lot. There, you saw large gates and a worn stone sign that read Denver, Colorado Cemetery. Is that the cemetery? Bingo. He looked back at me with a look of pride. You like it? Let's let our hair down, okay? Like, I would never do this in real life. I'd be like, oh yeah, sure. And then I would take off running the opposite direction because that's just me. But let's just let our hair down, get loose a little bit. Yeah, hell yeah. I like how you think. Avon giggled, proud of his choice. I like your energy. I think it's romantic in a mysterious, spooky sort of way. Think about it. Peaceful, quiet, no crowds, just vibes. Alone. Is he flirting? He's flirting. Okay. Hey, I'm not mad that he's flirting. I'm just scared. Big difference. Okay. I averted my eyes, feeling heat rise up to my cheeks. I grew a bashful smile. I changed my mind when you say it like that. He snickered, taking notice of your flushed face. Oh, you don't mean that. You giggled. Yeah, great date idea. Just us and a bunch of dead people. Great listeners. Avon gestured to you to follow him. Come on. It's not as weird as it sounds. Promise. He looks so excited. Oh, God. Of course, I get with the guy that's excited about graveyards. Leave it to voyia. You and Avon walk along the misty pavement of the parking lot, you slightly behind, shoes crunching the gravel beneath them. As you follow along, it felt as if the path got dimmer and dimmer. The gates ahead loom, like it belongs in some sort of gothic novel. It all felt so off. But only for a moment. A small spider skidded across the toe of your shoe the way I'd have been done there because I don't like bugs. You freeze, taking in a sharp breath, then continue walking, a little stiffer than before. You quickly latched onto Avon's arm without thinking. Avon stiffens in shock as he looks over to you. You okay? Letting go in embarrassment, you sigh with a nervous chuckle. Yeah, just didn't really expect this kind of vibe tonight. I can see that. His face softened slightly and gave you a gentle smile. Don't worry. I'll make sure you have a good time. Want to hold my hand? Sure. Play it cool, keep walking. Yeah, sure, I'll hold your hand. You gently took his hand with a grateful smile. It's warm and steady, like it's guiding you. Something about that brings you comfort. There we go. His genuine smile puts you at ease. I promise not to let any spiders slip under your skin. You laugh at his morbid joke. His touch felt grounding, even if for a fleeting moment. Appreciated. We can leave that to the corpse. Despite your own joke, you shiver at the thought. So gross. You scrunch up your face in a playful disgust, your head leaning on his shoulders with a sigh. Yeah. Avon's voice trails off as if he were daydreaming about something. The path still feels eerie, but somehow less alone. His thumb rubs against the top of your hand as you walk. It's subtle, but comforting. You two continue to walk along the gravel path, the gate behind you fading into the dark. Your eyes travel down to his chest, catching a glimpse of his necklace. You were surprised you didn't see it before. Hey, where'd you get that necklace? Such a sudden interest. Well, it was my dad's originally. As he averts his gaze, the air suddenly feels thicker. Oh, is it real? Like, genuine? He snorted at your question. Avon snorted at your question. It's not sheen or anything, if that's what you mean. It actually is from a cult. You stop in your tracks, taken aback by his statement. Was he in a cult? What the frick did you get yourself into? You're in a cult? Are they all fine like you? Because if they're all fine like him, I'm down for the cause. What? Don't judge me. Look, don't be grabbing my shoulder and my clothes and stuff telling me I can't join a cult of hot guys. You would too. There's no freaking way, right? Avon laughed at your reaction. Genuine, but now he was slightly guarded. Not in a way that said that he was self-conscious, just as if he was avoiding a really awkward conversation. No, not me. Not by a long shot. He's still laughing, but my dad was. Oh! And the apple doesn't fall too far. I'm not in a cult, but I am a Satanist. Okay, that's your business and that's what you do. You're still fine. I don't care what you are. You still fine. Dang, that's kind of cool, honestly. Mysterious with a dash of daddy issues. Avon paused, watching you for a moment as a smile slowly crept on his face. His voice was low, very amused at your response. Exactly the vibe I was going for. Avon laughed and leaned in close, a content smile on his face. You get it. Most people don't. They don't always like it. Look, I don't care what you worship and what you do as long as you're not trying to put it on me. Amen? All right. Somehow, you two felt closer now. Not just physically. I like people who aren't afraid of things like that. It's rare, really rare. His eyes linger on you for a second too long, as if he were weighing something behind them. Hopefully it's whether you're going to kill me or not, and I hope you came to the conclusion that you're not going to. He gave you a smile, one that almost felt too gentle. Honestly, that may be what I see in you. Why I took you out here. Let's be for real. No one would just go on some date with a stranger they met 2 days ago at a warehouse party. But I think you see people, Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. The words feel flattering, intimate even, but there's something heavy beneath them. Really? You look at him with bright eyes. You think that about me? You smile at his words. Unless I'm wrong, of course. There's that playful tone again. I guess we'll learn that together then, won't we? Avon turned his face away, hiding behind his fringe, though you could hear his breath hitch slightly. Deciding to change the topic, you cleared your throat. As you walk behind Avon, your eyes drift downwards, drawn by the way his fingers toy with the pendant around his neck. It's a St. Peter's cross, dangling loosely from the blackened chain. He's pinching it between his thumb and index, rubbing it in a slow circle like it soothes him. But it's not the necklace that's keeping your gaze this time. It's his hands. Okay, what's wrong with his hands? The skin around his nails is torn, raw, jagged, like he's been picking and biting at it for a while. Your hands. What happened? He freezes for a half a second, just long enough for you to notice. Then he exhales a small laugh, too sharp to be casual. That? He keeps walking, but shoves his hands into his pockets as if he were a child caught with his hands in the cookie jar. Oh, Avon, you don't have to hide that. Out of all the things that you're hiding, that is not the one that you should be hiding at all. It's more of a, hide if you're a schmiller. But when it comes to that, most people bite their nails, the skin around their nails. A lot of people do it. I bite them sometimes when I'm stressed or thinking too much. His tone shifts slightly. It was quieter, distant, like the words are drifting somewhere darker than he's currently willing to show you. You nod, the path crunching under your steps, and don't press further. You want to ask him what too much means, but something tells you you don't really want the answer. So instead, you walk beside him in silence, Avon humming softly under his breath, the pendant still swinging from his neck like a pendulum ticking down to something awful. The soft curve of the cemetery path crunched beneath your feet as the silence between your steps grew quieter. As the path faded into patchy grass, you noticed something just ahead, laid out like a dream. Don't kill me. A blanket, snacks, and a couple of drinks, all neatly placed in the clearing between the old headstone. You paused in front of the immediate romantic display. Wait, was this already here? When did he have time for that? Avon glanced over with a crooked smile, as if caught. Yeah, I like to be prepared. Yeah, really prepared. You stared at the picnic ahead in surprise. How long did it take him for him to do this? I mean, it's not hard to throw a blanket on the floor and lay on it and sit on it or whatever. Oh, look at him. He's so cute. He gave you a charming smile, taking your hand, guiding you to the blanket. He sat with his legs stretched out comfortably, hands falling behind him like this was routine. Over the years, I've gotten used to setting things up in advance. It's a habit of mine. Sometimes I don't always get much time to plan, so when I can, I make it count. When you say that, do you mean like schmurders, schmillings? Are you planning that because I'm scared, but you're hot, so I don't want to leave? His voice dipped lower, like he was remembering something, but he didn't elaborate, and you weren't sure if it was really your place to push. You slowly sat beside him, still eyeing the picnic like setup. I mean, he could have just set it up before you guys got together. So, what is all this anyway? You nod to the blanket and the small spread of food and drinks laid out. Are you trying to romance me or put me in a food coma? You inch closer to Avon, getting comfortable. Avon chuckles, getting comfortable in his position, but not pulling away. A little of both, maybe. Let's see. Avon reached out to grab a bag of chips. We've got chips, plain and spicy, sweet and sour candy, a couple of handmade pastries, sweet ones. Nothing fancy. Letting go of the item in his hand, he taps a small cooler near the center. Then water, juice, soda, few energy drinks if you're into that. You made the pastries? Avon grinned. What, you think I'm all graveyards? I can bake. He chuckles to himself. Badly, but it still counts. You glance at the food again, then back to him, an appreciative smile on your lips. This is actually really thoughtful. Like I said, I like to be prepared. You should never forget that. Oh man, I'm gonna die. That's what's finna happen. I'm finna die. Let me take off my jacket. I am going to freaking die, you guys. And when I do, just say, we told you, Voyia. We told you so. But if I don't, I want y'all to be like, you were right, Voyia, in the comment section. So, drinks. What's your pick? Lately I've been a water person. I have not been liking sweets, y'all. Lately, I don't know what it is. I love chocolate down. And I can't eat chocolate. Juice sounds good. Soda, energy drinks. Well, what would you pick? Let's see what he says. What would you pick? Well, what would you pick? He lifted a can of juice, grinning. Juice or water, simple. Keeps the hands steady and the mind clear. Plus, energy drinks makes my head hurt. Not exactly a fan. I hate energy drinks. You couldn't hold back a look of concern on your face. He raises an eyebrow at your expression, playing amused. Didn't expect that, did you? Water gotta stay hydrated. Yeah, water gotta stay hydrated. Of course. You reach over and grab a bottle of water, twisting the cap. Can't fall into a grave from dehydration, right? She's got a point. Avon smirks and lifts his own water bottle in a mock toast. Respect. Most people forget how firewater is. No one's forgetting it. I didn't even mean to go backwards. I hit my mouse the wrong way. Avon takes a long sip of his own drink, as do you. That hits the spot. You look over at the rest of the setup, eyeing the snacks laid out. Okay, be honest. Are you trying to be romantic or just fattening me up for a ritual sacrifice? Avon grins at your question, lounging back on his hands without breaking eye contact. Can it be both? I think that's the best kind of romance. Okay. I don't care. Like I said, I never care what the guy likes. But this is what I count as you putting your religion on me, because I never agreed to be sacrificed. He waves a hand over the snacks. All right, menu time. Like I said, I would take the pastries. Yeah, I would take the pastries, the pastries that he baked. I would say the pastries that he baked. Anyway, let's keep going. If you're here for perfection, you're on the wrong channel. Go ahead, go somewhere else. Pastries. I mean, you baked. Now I have to judge you. You take one of the small, uneven pastries and raise a brow. Avon smirked, but looks a bit self-conscious. Come on, be gentle. They were made during a psychotic episode or two. Despite his slightly concerning comment, you take a bite. It's actually good. Soft, sweet, and surprisingly not a crime against humanity. It's impressive for someone who sucks at baking. Avon hums, proud of himself. As time passes, you ate snacks and spoke about various things. Sometimes it was about nothing. Sometimes it was about an actual topic. But overall, you were both enjoying yourselves and each other's company. Is that not what a date is supposed to be about? You couldn't help but wonder, though. How do you even get in here? Aren't you worried about getting caught or something? You were nervous of the idea of security guards catching you both out here. Avon chuckled, rubbing his shoulders. Not really. Trespassing's never been a big deal to me. But when I was younger, some friends and I used to sneak into way worse places. Abandoned factories, rooftops, train yards. Avon's gaze shifted to the side for a moment. A few houses, too. Oh, you don't do that anymore, right? That's a red flag for me. Like, yeah, I like a bad boy, but that's a bad boy. He laughed to himself, as if it were just harmless nostalgia. We got into a bunch of other illegal shite. Still do sometimes. You eyed him with a wary look, brows rising. But he just grinned wider. I just realized the ambient sound was kind of low for you guys, so I had to turn it up for y'all. I hope y'all can still hear it because I can't tell. But he just grinned wider. Relax. That's not why we're here tonight. He gestures closely to the graves around you. I actually work here. Funeral home side of it. Or morgue, depending on what sounds spookier to you. Funny story. I wanted to work in a morgue. I just don't think I can anymore. So they don't really care when I come in or out, as long as I don't piss anyone off. You know, dig up the graves or mess with a coffin or two. He laughed again like it was a joke. You weren't sure it was. You tilted your head, taking that in. Most people wouldn't go near a morgue, let alone work in one, but he seemed unfazed. You work at a morgue? For how long? Avon hummed thoughtfully. 5 years? Would have started sooner, but I got caught up in some things after high school. Avon sat upright, gazing at the moon. I'm surprised, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Guys, girls, anybody that may have some more knowledge on this. I'm surprised how very open a type of person like this would be. If I was so mysterious and crazy about graves, Satanists, and all this other stuff, I wouldn't be so open. I'm like, it's none of your business. Like, don't ask questions and stuff. But I guess, like, you also have to think about, like, you're on a date. a date is to get to know each other. So if she doesn't like the worst part of you, and I don't even think these are the worst part of him, but if she didn't like the worst stuff about you, then it would be like, then it wasn't meant to be in the first place. I don't know. I just feel weird how open he is. Avon sat upright, gazing at the full moon. The morgue doesn't bother you? Or are you like the receptionist or something? That made him actually laugh. No. I do the full works. Embalming, cleaning, prepping, down to the nitty gritty. Death doesn't really bother me. Never has. He looked at you, and for a second, something flickered behind his eyes. It's all natural anyways. Plus, he bit his lip slightly, a strange glint in his expression. I quite like it. You like death? You hesitated. Or your job? He giggled, quiet and low, leaning back on his elbows and turning his face away from yours. Both. Oh, okay. That's honestly fascinating. Not many people can handle death so closely. That's how I feel. Like, that's fascinating that you're so comfortable with death, because again, I wanted to work in a morgue, and then I got taught, like, okay, you work in a morgue, you're gonna see some crazy stuff. And I was like, okay, never mind. I don't want to do that no more. I was scared the moment they started explaining to me what I would be seeing. I got scared before I saw anything. So that is honestly fascinating, not fantasy, fascinating. Avon tilted his head, clearly pleased. Yeah? Most people look away, pretend like it doesn't exist. He lets out a short, awkward laugh, but it wasn't nervous. It was giddy, like something warm had uncoiled in his chest. But I think when you face it, when you can understand it, it stops being scary, disgusting even. Most people change the subject, but you didn't. He shifted, as if trying to sit still was suddenly harder than it should have been. I'm only answering honestly because this is how I would actually answer. Like, this is fascinating that you're not afraid of death and stuff. A lot of people, even if they're not afraid of it, it's still an uncomfortable talk, and you're able to talk about it. That's fascinating to me. I would love to have that, because of course that's the inevitable. That's what we have to face. And I'm not going to go too deep in that. We're not going to think about that. But the point is that that's what we all have to face in our life. And for somebody to be like, death is death, whatever, and just be comfortable with it, it's fascinating. I would love to have a death conversation that doesn't lead to me being scared or frightened or uneased, and somebody's just like comfortable talking about it. He shifted. Oh, I already read this. Sorry. I think there's something beautiful about it. The body, what's left of us after. I mean, not everyone gets it. He looks at you for a little too long, eyes flickering briefly down your face, your neck, and then back up. Avon shifts again, fingers nervously tapping against the rim of the nearby drink can. His gaze trailed down, like he's trying to contain something. It's weird, right? I know it is. God, sorry. That's probably a lot. He lets out a sharp breath and laughs again, flustered, but clearly enjoying the adrenaline of sharing this with you. But you asked, and you don't look grossed out. He gives you a gentle smile, so I figured maybe I could be honest. He looks down at his bitten and jagged fingernails. There's a faint redness beneath the cuticles. You realize he's been scratching at his palm through the conversation. I don't get to talk like this with people, not without them pulling away. He looks back up, and the smile he gives you is a little too hopeful, a little too hungry. But not you, right? He tilted his head at you, curiosity in his eyes, but it's not really a question, it's a test. Again, it's not a lot to be able to be comfortable with talking about death. Not at all. I just think that with this character and specifically, he's like, nah, I am going to keep you forever and sacrifice you or some crazy stuff. But I don't think it's weird that you're going to talk about something. Just like I used to work in the medical field. I could tell you about a lot of things I learned and stuff, and I can talk naturally about that. I'm very comfortable with the human body, unnaturally comfortable with the human body. Like, I can talk about boobs and butt and fangle dangle or whatever you want to call it and all that stuff naturally, and it doesn't bother me. I can even talk about schmecks and it doesn't bother me to talk about it. But some people be like, ew, like, why are you're a weirdo, why are you talking about that stuff? And I be looking like, dang, it's kind of hard to talk about stuff like this with people. But me being that way opened me up for a lot of people, a lot of friends to come to me with advice, a lot of stuff to come to me naturally. And I've had some great friendships and relationships because I was so comfortable with the human body to talk about certain things about the human body. Like, I've had boyfriends come and show me things on them and be like, look at this. And they were afraid to show me because they're like, man, I didn't want you to think I had an STI or something. I'm like, no, you have a rash. Like, relax. Like, I know what a rash looks like compared to something from you being a dirty dude or something. And again, you can have those conversations when you're comfortable with it. Or like, if I didn't know what it was, I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is. Let's go to the doctor because I really don't know what that is. That's why I said, like, for his situation, flip it. And it's not him talking about the human body. Technically, he kind of is. He's talking about death and how he's not afraid of it and how it's very interesting and beautiful to him and stuff. It's like, you can talk about it, and then that would open the conversation up for somebody to come and talk to him about death. You spoke softly. No, not at all. You don't flinch. In fact, something in you stirs, whether it's curiosity or something deeper, you're not sure. You lean in, smirking slightly. You make it sound almost poetic. Avon blinks, surprised for a second, then grins, wide, relieved, like he's finally found someone who sees it. God, you actually get it. Oh no, I might have created a monster. His hand finds yours. It's cold but steady. And the way he looks at you now, it's like his walls are slowly coming down. The silence between you growls. It's not hostile, but cautious. You glance at him, watching the way he stares ahead, expression unreadable now. The blanket is spread out in the grass. The soft clink of the drink bottles, the faint rustles of candy wrappers, and the hum of a distant wind fills the air. Wow, all this eating has me thinking. I haven't really asked too much about you, you know, besides work and you saving my butt from further embarrassment. Avon leaned back on his hands, giving you a slow grin. Oh yeah, common hobby of mine, but besides parties and cemeteries and saving drunks. He side-eyed you for a moment, stifling a laugh. Don't laugh at me after I just heard the crazy stuff that came out of your mouth, buddy. Or at least some what people would perceive as crazy. I actually got some surprises up my sleeve. Like collecting old trinkets, exploring abandoned buildings, watching banned or illegal films. Why'd you stop at watching? Are you a stalker? Stuff like that. He seemed proud of his spread of hobbies. A smile stretches on his face. You seem like the grimy type, huh? There's a low hum of Avon's throat. Actually, I really like cleaning. Like, obsessively. But when I was still with my dad, he kind of stopped giving a damn. So I picked up around the house. I'd say it's a good hobby for a mortician, you know? Oh, I would be a great mortician then. Hey, I love cleaning. Just another part of the job. Wow, polar opposite interests, huh? You breathe in a mild amusement as Avon raised a brow like you'd challenge him. What? No, no. I have more normal hobbies too. He shifts, turning fully towards you, the corner of his mouth pulling into a smirk. You probably caught on that I like lo-fi earlier, but I also mess with making candles. It's pretty fun. Okay, now he's just like, who are you, sir? That, and I go up in the mountains pretty often to ski and snowboard. Man, do I love it. Just the wind, speed, the crunch of the snow. It's dangerous, sure, but that's what I like about it. You listen to him with interest, smiling as he spoke about his hobbies. Avon smiled back before averting his eyes. He clicks his tongue in thought, voice soft and unsure. Yeah, the mountains are kind of my thing. You tilt your head, about to respond, but Avon opens his mouth first. You cut him off. Oh, I'm sorry. He blinks, then chuckles, waving you forward to go ahead. No. Go first. You nod slightly before speaking teasingly. So, candles. I never would have thought someone like you would be into making candles. Avon's eyes flicking away with a sheepish smile. That's what you're embarrassed about? Come on, Avon. That's not the thing you should be embarrassed about. Yeah, the doctor said it's nice to have a soothing, calming hobby. What? He looked back at you, catching your shocked expression, then burst into laughter. I'm joking. Rolling his eyes, he continues, his tone softer now. When I was younger, my baby sister, Aridin, actually loved them. It was a nice distraction from, well, our parents constantly bickering. His fingers tapped idly on the blanket as he speaks, like he was keeping count of his thoughts. Oh, poor Avon. I used to just watch her and my mom make them. Avon's voice loosens in melancholy. Honestly, I thought it was dumb at the time. Candles? Who cares, right? He exhales through his nose with a nostalgic smile. Then, one night, she had to make one for school, show and tell. Mom was working late. Dad refused to help. So there I was, in the kitchen, trying to make sure she didn't get burned by the wax. He shook his head quietly, lips parting only slightly before swallowing the emotion that threatened to come out. Instead, he murmured a laugh. She's only 2 years younger than me, but I knew my parents would kill me if I let her hurt herself. So I helped, and I just kept the hobby since then. So he got the hobby because of his sister. That's so cute. You hummed in acknowledgement, and he coughed to wave off any lingering awkwardness. Oh, though it wasn't awkward for you at all. He must have felt that way himself. You smiled fondly at his awkwardness, finding it endearing. You shift uncomfortably, letting out a shiver and curling in slightly, hands wrapping around yourself as you huffed out a warm breath of air. I didn't dress as warm as I thought I did. Oh well. You laugh, small and breathy, trying to downplay the visceral shivers that ran up your spine. Avon snickered quietly. Well, there's an extra blanket. He reaches over in front of you to grab it on the other side of the makeshift picnic and hands the soft roll of cloth to you without a word. Gently taking it, you bring the fabric to your face, inhaling the scent without thinking about it. It was nice, soft and inviting, homey even. Unrolling it, you tugged it around your shoulder slowly, cuddling into it before holding open the other end for Avon. Avon's body stiffens as he realizes what you're offering. What? Get in here. ... Okay. Avon crawled over into the blanket, settling in close enough to feel each other's warmth. You couldn't help but let out a giggle at his flustered and awkward state. So, does the blanket smell nice? You look at him, face red in embarrassment. Uh, yeah, sorry. Avon chuckles. Don't worry about it. I'm glad you like it. I tried to keep everything smelling nice, you know. House, car, myself, and even blankets, I guess. You both fell into a small fit of giggles. I just imagine them both just kicking their feet and holding their face going, just his voice deeper. Though, some people say walking into my house is like walking into a Bath and Body Works. I see nothing wrong with that. Some Bath and Body Works smell good. The only time I don't think that Bath and Body Works smell good is literally around fall. It's just too much pumpkin everything. It's just hitting you in the face, and maple syrup something hitting you in the face. I'm like, good God. It's like, I don't like maple smelling stuff, and I don't like pumpkin smelling stuff. I don't mind eating pumpkin. I don't mind eating something maple, but I don't like the smell of it. He lets out a giggle, snort at his own jokes. This was nice. It was weird that despite everything, you still laughed, but the mind has an odd way of handling things. Maybe it was the blanket or the way Avon said it. Well, hey, there's nothing wrong smelling like a candle aisle. The wind carried the soft rustle of the tree branches, and in the distance, the quiet chirp of the crickets tried to fill the silence of the cemetery. For a moment, things felt peaceful. Avon's smile tightened in a playful joy. I think that's the nicest insult I've gotten all week. You hummed in acknowledgement. But I'll have you know, that scent is called Midnight Smoke and Cedarwood. Thank you very much. Very masculine. I actually smelled something it was like smoke and cedarwood. It was so disgusting. Very mysterious. You burst into a quiet laugh, muffled slightly by the blanket. Really? Thought it was vanilla and cherry blossoms. He rolled his eyes, but the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Ha ha. I don't know. I guess I like the idea of comfort. It's nice when everything else isn't. Feels safe, you know. Well, I guess that's true. It's working. The blanket, the smell, the whole dead people picnic vibe. Kind of cozy in its own way. He turns towards you. His eyes soften. Eyes meets yours. Yeah? He paused for a moment, genuinely curious, his hands reaching out slowly, settling in the curve of your cheek. Please don't. Please don't do what I think you're gonna do. You feel safe with me? You pause, feeling his eyes on yours. The question lingered in the air, not heavy, just delicate. You didn't flinch. Instead, you gave a small laugh as heat rose up in your neck, tilting your head. You looked towards him with a half smile. I mean, so far you haven't pushed me into a grave, so that's promising. You weren't sure if you fully believed yourself, but better safe than sorry. Avon lets out a low chuckle, shaking his head at your joke. Such high praise. What can I say? My standards are dangerously low. Boy, weren't they ever. Avon's eyes glances off to the side, a smirk pulling at his lips. Well, you did give me your number after throwing up. Hey, it was out of kindness of my heart. Plus, probably the closest thing to a fairy tale in this city. Or a nightmare. You wonder what he meant by that, but decided not to push and brush it off with a laugh. Hey, one too many of those to count. But seriously, this place is kind of weirdly pretty at night. I didn't think I'd ever say that about a cemetery. Avon sat up for a moment to probably lay on his side and face you. Yeah, it's quiet, peaceful. Plus, no one ever complains about the music or other sounds. You laugh, pushing his shoulder. Ew. Calming down, you sigh. So, this is your idea of romantic evening, huh? Smirking, he nodded. Dead silence, a cozy blanket, and probably a ghost or two. Classic. You shook your head, laughing softly at his ghost comment. Stupid. The shift in tone was welcome, like slipping back into a familiar rhythm. And for now, neither of you dug any deeper. The two of you sat in the stillness, your shoulders nearly brushing Avon's. So tell me something. What do you do when you're not judging people's candle-scented choices and getting drugged into graveyards by questionable men? You smirk, pulling the blanket tighter like it helped you think. Well, let me tell you, Avon, what I normally do. I'm normally letting strangers from libraries into my house, or allowing strangers to follow me and stalk me because it makes them feel comfortable, or dating monsters. You mean besides slightly questioning my life choices? Avon grinned with a chuckle, leaning into you. Well, yeah. I mean, I've got hobbies, sort of. I read sometimes. That's a hobby. I draw a little. I can't draw anymore. Explore here and there. Spiral emotionally on the weekends. The usual. It's the weekdays for me. Avon laughed, looking up at the sky. Oh yeah, can't forget those. You both shared a snicker before falling into a comfortable silence. So, do you like Colorado? Avon blinks as if the question caught him off guard. Then, he lets out a breath and chuckles. That's a sudden shift. Yeah, well, not everything has to be about death and trauma, right? He tilts his head, considering you for a moment. Then his expression softens, just a bit. Fair enough. Yeah, I like it. The cold's an itch, but the mountains make up for it. Have you always lived here? Avon shook his head. Nah, I was actually born in Mexico. Aw, that's so sweet. I used to live in Mexico too. Mexico, really? He hummed in confirmation. Mm-hmm. Near Mexico City. My mom moved us up there when I was just about 4. Said the air was cleaner. I used to live in Mexico City. I also lived in Tijuana. Tijuana is horrible. Don't ever move there. If you decide to move to Mexico, don't move to Tijuana. That's just my personal preference. Maybe. I was also young, okay? So I probably remembered it incorrectly. I'm getting closer to the mic, so if I get lower and then louder at one moment, I'm so sorry. I'm cleaning my glasses. But when I lived there, I was a kid. So to me, it was just like, ew, everything's dusty and it's always, ouch, that hurts. It's always raining and stuff. But Mexico City is really nice. He rolled his eyes at that, clearly quoting. Not sure if she meant that metaphorically or literally, but here we are. You nod slowly, taking that in. Do you remember anything from back there? Bits and pieces. The language stuck more than the place, though. I barely use it now. If he speaks Spanish right now, I'll pass out. There's a moment of silence again, but this one feels easier, less like pressure and more like a shared pause. Avon takes a sip of his drink before speaking. What about you, Voyia? Born and raised, or did you crawl out of some hunted cryptic nearby? Nope, moved here a while back. Sure. Nope, moved here a while back. Fresh crypt, same ghost, as you'd probably say. Avon laughed. Oh, I like that. Sounds like a poetic way of saying I carry my baggage like a body bag. Strange, isn't it? Yeah. What is? How nice it is talking with you. Despite not really knowing each other, sometimes things just fall in place. You nodded in agreement. He was opening up, but so were you. It was nice. He hummed and thought, are you normal? I Don't think anyone is, really. Yeah, just gotta look hard enough. Avon's eyes glanced you over, giving you an expectant look as his eyebrows raised ever so slightly. But then he looked away, foot tapping in thought. I mean, I know I'm not. Huh. Avon giggled for a moment, softer this time. I fully get people pretending they are. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't. Just wish I didn't have to. Just wish I didn't have to. It can be tiring. He speak normalcy like it's a bitter word on his tongue. That's been happening a lot lately. I wonder if being normal is bad nowadays. Do you want to be normal? I don't think you're so bad. Abnormal is refreshing. Normal is overrated anyways, dude. It is. It really is. Avon raised an eyebrow, intrigued. His grin is crooked. Too pleased. You know, I think you're right. I kind of think people try too hard to be normal, to put on a mask, but I like being myself. Amen. I love being myself. I don't care what anybody says. Your words brought warmth to his chest as he relaxed. Yeah, me too. Avon thought for a moment. I was thinking and find it surprising still. You, still here, talking to me, even listening. But I think I get it now. He smiled appreciatively. You two sat in silence for a moment, watching as the gray clouds passed by, the wind of Colorado passing you by. I was thinking about the whole thing with your family, and I can't help but be a little jealous. Avon looked at you in concern. His eyebrow raises in shock for a moment. You quickly realize your own words and stammer to clarify. Whoa, no, I mean like you and your sister. My bad. Avon nodded with a small huh and a thought for a moment. Well, do you have any siblings? You wave off the idea. Oh, no. But it would be fun if I did. This way it does not have siblings. I have 11 of them. It's exhausting. Avon chuckled. Yeah. You lay beside him, eyes drifting once more to the inverted cross pendant resting on his chest. The St. Peter's cross glints faintly under the moonlight. You hesitate, then speak softly. You talked about your dad a little, but not much about your mom, or your family in general, besides the candle stuff. Avon's gaze doesn't leave the sky. His thumb instinctively moved to the pendant, pressing it lightly. My dad? You already know. Cult stuff. Anger. The whole cocktail. My mom wasn't really around. Not fully. Avon huffed through his nose at the memory. Poor thing. She had this affair with a man. Not like some midlife crisis either. It was long, ongoing. My dad knew. She never left him, though. Eventually, she did. Not legally, of course. They're still married on paper. Isn't that something? Either desperate to escape my father or desperate in love. I never knew. Still don't. At the time, I was too young to really understand. Shaking his head, he continued, as you listened with soft eyes. She did eventually have a kid, though, when I was about 2, right before we moved here. Things were fine and didn't suspect a thing, too young too. Then my dad got more violent, angry, drunk, abusive. He chuckled, humorless. I tried so hard to make her happy again. I would stay up all night doing my homework, studying, getting the best grades. She always stressed the importance of it. Always would say things like, don't worry about mommy, Habibi. Just focus on your studies, and I'll be fine. Avon laughed sadly. I believed her, thought that even when she was getting the lights knocked out of her, that my grades, of all things, would fix it. Man, was I naive. Oh my God, who would hit a woman? Ugh, disgusting. If you ever get to the point in a relationship, and these are for the fellas that watch me, if you ever get to a point in a relationship where you feel like you need to put your hands on somebody, leave. Avon sighed as you listen. My sister, half sister, whatever. My mom took Arden and ran when I was around 10. Left me with my dad like I was part of the problem, or just too much effort to pack up. Can you believe the guy actually moved up here too? Avon rolled his eyes at thought. She checked in sometimes, bring groceries, see how I was doing, or when I got in trouble, but my dad barely cooked. When I was about 14, she hardly came around anymore. More like once every other month. Dad didn't give a frick either, probably too drunk to. Sometimes just too sadistic to. I went hungry a lot, ate spoiled or raw food until I finally taught myself to cook. Money wasn't the issue. It's not like we were broke. They just stopped caring. I know what y'all gonna say, but I'm in the mood. If I can fix him, I can fix him. I'll teach him how to cook. I'll do everything for you. He is so fine. My dad raised me to be detached, I guess. Like emotions were a weakness. He wanted me to be just like him. Occasionally puts his hands on me and talked down to me like I was scum. Probably the worst thing he could have done. He never really saw how much damage that shite caused. But watching him beat on my mom, Avon spaced out, as if dissociating. Yeah, that left a scar big enough on its own. You didn't say anything at first, just let the silence settle between you. Avon stared ahead, eyes unfocused, jaw clenched, but not angry, just distant, lost in memory. The wind moved through the cemetery trees again, brushing through the branches and stone like the dead were listening. You spoke quietly. You okay? He blinked like he had forgotten that you were there, head turning slightly towards you, then away. Yeah, I'm good. He lets out a quick breath, shaking his head lightly as if trying to snap himself back, pulling the blanket that was wrapped between the both of you closely into his chest. Shite. Sorry, Voyia. That probably got a lot deeper than you expected, huh? He smiled, trying to lighten the mood, but it was more like a mask than anything. It's okay. You kept your tone steady as you smiled. I don't mind. For a moment, his shoulders relaxed. Not much, but it was enough. My poor Avon. So what about your sister, Arden? Avon glanced at you, brows furrowing just a little. My sister? We're not that close anymore. Oh, really? Avon hesitated for a moment, eyes drifting away from you again, looking at the old and cracked headstone. It's not because I don't want to be. It's probably just better this way. His thumb rubbed absent-mindedly into the blanket. We text a lot, though. Talk here and there, send memes, pretending things are normal. He gave a small, hollow chuckle. Anything but that, huh? Yep. I think I just wish we had a real childhood. Like one of those cliche ones with bike rides and birthday parties and, I don't know, warm kitchens or something. Sort of like Hallmark movies. I've never seen a Hallmark movie. He shook his head gently with a scoff, like he should push the image away before it got too vivid. She used to visit when I was younger. After she and Mom left, sometimes she'd stay a few nights, sometimes a few weeks. I used to count the days until she'd come back. I mean, yeah, she's your sister. His voice got more distant, now as he swallowed thickly. I got really attached. Mentally, I mean. Probably more than I should have. He seemed to struggle to look at you after that, staring down into his hands. Anyway, we hang out now and then, grab food, walk around. It's good, just not the way I imagined it when I was a kid. He exhaled slowly. Back then, I thought when I got older, we'd just fix it all somehow. Well, do you have any friends? Ouch, how mean. I'm not trying to be mean, I just need to know. You laughed, giving him an apologetic smile. But yeah, I do. Though, I'm not sure if you could call all of them friends. Tell me about your high school friends. Tell me about your acquaintances. Tell me about your childhood friend. Tell me about your close friend. Tell me about your close friend. Like, I would like to know about his close friend. I've got a little circle. Not many people know about them. Not really. Just a handful of friends, if you could call them that. They're ones I can actually be myself around. No mask, no filter, no judgment. That shite's rare. Boy, is it ever. Some of them are worse than me, honestly, in different ways. Sick, twisted people. The kind of people who should be locked away years ago. Oh, okay. If the world gave a damn. We all have done things no one should talk about out loud. Stuff that should have landed us behind bars or 6 feet under. But it didn't. It never does. And when I'm with them, I feel unchained, like the violence in my chest finally has somewhere to go. It excites me, keeps me sharp, alive, but also weirdly accepted. He laughed, not wanting to let off more than necessary. That's enough for me. Violence? I would have played it cool the whole entire night and left. I don't talk about them too much, so maybe another day. But I will say this. I introduced Xander to them once. Thought maybe, just maybe, he'd fit in. That was optimistic. They scared him, especially after the cat. You looked at him in curiosity. A cat? Yeah. We killed a cat. Right in front of him. What the frick? Avon jumped to defend himself. A mistake, really. Avon looked to the side as if he was hiding something. Xander wanted nothing to do with them after that. Avoided me for weeks. Wes, though. Wes was easier. He wired for adrenaline. Doesn't even need a reason. If there's a rush, he's in. Tuss hated that. Always tried to keep him out of our mess. But when Tuss wasn't looking, Wes tagged along just fine. But none of them, none compared to her. Renee. I met her on Twitter of all places. One of those weird, grimy, late-night communities. Dark concept art, gore, the darkest, freakiest shite you could find. And she got me. She's not like the rest. I don't know what she is exactly, but I cherish her. That's not a word I use lightly. Avon hummed, a soft, genuine smile on his face. I think if we click on close friends again, he's just going to talk about the friends again, but so I'm going to do that again. Same thing. Tell me about your childhood friends. Tell me about your childhood friends. Xander? I met Xander when I was 4, fresh off the move to Colorado. We were kids, recess friends. He'd follow me around the playground like some sad little duck, all big eyes and scraped knees. At first, I didn't mind. He was a quiet, easy. But kids grow, and I started noticing things. How soft he was, how easy it'd be to chip away at him. So I did. You got the sense that there was more to it he wasn't letting off for some reason. I'd shove him during dodgeball, said he cried too easily, pulled his hoodie down in front of the other kids. He flinched like clockwork. Eventually, I'd corner him after class, whispering things that stuck in his head for hours. No one likes you. You're just convenient. That kind of thing. Isn't that a bit much? Maybe. But I was shaping him, doing him a favor. I'd let him sit with us one day, ignore him the next, toss him a compliment after ripping him apart. Over time, he started hanging on to every word I said. That's when I knew I had him. By high school, junior year, we weren't just friends. We were something else. We do things that make your skin crawl. Break-ins, vandalism, setups. Okay. Sometimes it was for fun. Sometimes it was for a little extra cash. Sometimes it was just to see how far we'd go. How far he'd go. And Xander, he hesitated, but he never really said no. Avon's face flickered with something wicked. Not when it mattered anyways. We got close, real close. Your face scrunched in confusion. What do you mean? You know, the kind of close people notice but don't question. Well, Wes did, rambling about it all the time to Tursk. Our friends, but most just whispered about it. They'd never question anything, and if they did, they certainly didn't say anything. I remember laughing once, thinking how no one would ever believe what we really done together, how deep it all went. But then Shite caught up to me after school. I got into some mess, jail time, nothing permanent, big enough. When I got out, Xander was gone, blocked my number, changed phones, vanished like I'd never been part of his life. Avon's grip on the blanket tightens between his fingers, nails dig into his palm. Poor Avon, oh my God, this is sad. Stung bad. Not because I missed him, but because I made him. He blinked once, then twice, trying to evaluate his words properly. And he had the nerve to pretend like I never exist. You looked in shock, jumping back for a moment. Avon sighed and muttered a sorry. I was pissed. Hurt, yeah, sure, but mostly angry. I let it go eventually. Go into college, start over kind of. Then I saw him again on campus. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. Maybe he had. I didn't rush it, just gave him space, time, and it wouldn't you know it. Slowly he came back around. Or maybe he could have just left him alone. Started messaging, laughing again, letting the walls drop. Same old patterns, same little ticks. Avon laughed. All right. Tell me about your acquaintance. By the way, it's the next day for me. Tell me about your acquaintances. Avon giggled as if someone already popped up into his head. This girl Calvin and I go way back. High school. She used to hang out with Xander, actually. I think they were lab partners or something in middle school. Funny, right? She hated me. Still kinda does. Said I gave her a bad feeling the first time I spoke to her. I told her it was just first meeting jitters. Avon is he's so playful. I can't be mad at him, but he does got a lot of serious things going on. We were friends, not back then. But soon enough, we both needed cash. Her mom was sick, really sick. She didn't talk about it much, but it hung on her like a weight. Me? I had my own mess to deal with. You know, angry dad, mom bailed, bills stacking up like bones. We both needed a way out. So, we made one. Started small, contracts off the dark net, nothing huge, just hacking jobs. some light blackmail, data dumps. We were good together. You raised your eyebrow. He rolled his eyes and smirked. Not in a romantic way. Calm down. Just efficient. She knew how to code, how to keep her mouth shut. I respected that. I pitched the organ trade once, just casually. She didn't like that too much. It's weird talking to him because it's like, I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna let him finish though, before I say anything. Can't blame her, I guess. She's got lines. Me? Mine's a bit blurrier. Instead, we focus on trackers, GPS mods, burner rigs, custom bugs, stuff you stick on a car, or a person when you want to know everything. They sold like crazy, black market, private contracts. Some guy in Russia who never gave a name. We made a killing. We made a killing. She's sharp, no nonsense, and way too grounded to fall into the chaos like the others did. Still thinks I'm dangerous. She's right, of course. But she keeps answering when I call. And in this line of work, that's all that matters. Avon sighs thoughtfully. Now, back to what I was saying. It seems like him staying with his dad almost made him evil in a different way. He went down a different route. He's not a woman abuser. Let's hope. He's not a woman abuser. He's not like yelling and fighting. He's not a drunk and all that stuff. But it seems like he went down a different route with it. And it's like, interesting. But now it's like the thought pops in my head that if he was adopted or anything else, would he have been a nicer person, or would he have always just turned out the way he is now? Because it just seems like we're talking about his close friends, definitely his close friends and his childhood friend. He's just evil. The girl that he met, the acquaintance, she was right. He is evil. Tell me about your high school friends. High school friends. He thought for a moment, gathering his thoughts. Well, I've actually known Terse and Wes since middle school. We weren't the best kids. Definitely no saints. Not even close. We used to mess with this kid, Xander actually. He used to be scrawny, quiet, too nerdy for his own good. Easy target. Kinda looks like a kick puppy. Wow. Most of the time. I think we just wanted to see if he'd snap. He never really did. Avon laughed, as if remembering a fond memory. See, that part. Like, why are you picking on this poor kid? There was this one time, up on the school rooftop. It was my idea, obviously. I thought it'd be funny, give him a little push, Shove. Dumb move. But we were kids. We went right over the edge, broke a bunch of shite. His arm, his ribs, maybe his pride too. Still breathing though, so not a big deal in the long run, right? You stare in shock. What? Avon looks at you, right in the eye, but he quickly moved on instead of explaining himself. He simply laughed it off. Anyway, high school came around and somehow we ended up friends with him. I suggested it, of course. It'd be good to keep him dosed. At this point, he'd fit in all right. After a bit of rewiring, Xander had been changed into something harder, more useful, easier to laugh with. And he had potential. You wonder what he meant by potential. We all started hanging out more, studying, crashing at each other's places. I always got the best grades. Terse was all about football, lifting and yelling about grit. It was either that or superheroes. Wes was a sugar bomb with legs, adrenaline driven, jittery hands, big dump heart. Always down to try anything if you frame it right. I found it funny. Took advantage of that more than once. There was this night at my house. Wes dropped a cup, plastic, not even glass. My dad lost his shite. Slapped him so hard the walls shook. Poor Wes looked like he's seen God. The way my dad would have came up there and beat your dad, His brows furrowed in concern. What the heck? What happened? I laughed. What else could you do? Terse didn't, though. From then on, he'd bring juice boxes over like Wes was some toddler. Oh, thought that was sweet in a sad kind of way. Not that it mattered. They stopped staying overnight too long after that. You guys date friends? Well, college split us up, kinda. Not really. I switched majors. I was gonna be a nurse, but that got boring. Now I'm in cybersecurity. Makes more sense, right? I like breaking into things, so it felt like the right thing to do. Terse is still playing football, drinking his weight in cheap beers, studying something with dead frogs and scalpels. Biology studying frat bro. Wes, he's doing journalism, wants to tell stories. Kind of funny, considering how many of ours he'll never ever touch in 1,000 years. I wouldn't either. He knows when to keep his mouth shut, usually. I'm getting my master's now, though. Still top of his class, still ahead of the game. I'm wondering and hoping that this is just stuff that he did in his past that he's like, I can't change it, so it's fine, it's whatever type of thing. And I'm changing for the better, and not that he's still like this, because if he is, he's got me scared. But the way he's smirking and laughing at certain things, it's like, no, he's still the same person. Xander? Still following along, though we're hardly in contact like we used to be in high school. Avon thinks as a flicker of betrayal crosses his face. So we already talked about all this. There's a new option right here. Wow, you really do have friends, I guess. You're not sure what to say at first. His words hang in the air, dense and uneasy. Wow, you really do have friends. You laugh nervously. Dang, that's intense. You really don't hold back, huh? What the heck is wrong with you? Interesting. Not exactly surprising, though. Huh. I don't want to say not exactly surprising due to the fact that your dad was in a cult and blah, blah, blah and all this other stuff. It's like, that was intense. You really don't hold back, I guess. Dang, that's intense. You really don't hold back, huh? You lean in, eyes glassed in morbid curiosity. Those friends of yours sound like a kind of people who actually live. I mean, most people spend their lives pretending they don't have urges. It's morbidly inspiring. Morbidly inspiring, huh? Avon laughed. Yeah, but like, you? I mean, it's fricked up. More than fricked up, but I like it. You intrigue me. If I say that, you intrigue me. You're like a test subject that escaped the lab. You're fascinated. Tone more analytical now. Your eyes narrow, taking him in. You talk about your friends like, I don't know, like they're monsters that lurk in the dark, kinda. And you seem to like that. I almost want to pick your brain apart, you know? Like, what makes you tick? Avon's eyes flickered to yours. Oh, well, if you stick around long enough, you might just get to. Can't say you'll like what you see, though. Avon chuckled. As the breeze picks up, you shiver slightly. Avon glances at you and sigh. Rolling his neck, he looked back at you. What about you, voyia? How's your family and friends? He says it like it's casual, but his eyes linger like he's actually listening for something deeper than just small talk. Friends are good, family not so much. Family's all right, but friends not really. I got lucky, well they're good. I feel like mine is in between either the top one, me personally, the top one or the bottom one. Neither. I've got people, but I wouldn't call it good. I mean, I got YouTube family. You guys are my family. That's enough, right? That's enough. It's a lot of us here. Neither. I've got people, but I wouldn't call it good. Avon looks at you for a long moment. Something in his expression shifts, like piqued interest. My friends, they were never really my friends. They used me pretty often. Kind of talked behind my back. Just toxic overall. Oh my God, is this really me? Family isn't any better either. I'm gonna tell you guys a funny story about my friends. I'm using air quotations, friends. I have this girl as a friend, and everyone comes to me for years and tell me, even like people related to her have come to me and told me that she talks about me poorly behind my back. And then when she's in my face, she's very nice to me. And it's like, you've ever felt somebody be evil to you? That's kind of what I get from her. She says like little slick evil things to me, and she laughs. Like, I can't be happy around her because she gets angry, sad, depressed. I don't know what it is. It's like, it sounds like anger. It also sounds like sadness sometimes. But she gets angry or sad or depressed when I'm happy. And that kind of put the nail in the coffin. I don't no longer consider her a friend. I will speak to them because I'm being cordial. I'm being nice. But I will never talk to this person. And it breaks my heart because I really considered them a friend. And I guess we can't be friends. Family isn't any better either. They never really gave me any grace. Every small mistake was like 1,000 sins in their eyes. God, is this really me? Living with that was... You trail off. He spoke softly. That's awful, really. He leans in just slightly, his hand brushing against your knee, and then to your face. Oh my God, look at him. He's so cute, but he's so bad. Like he could have been a 10 if he's like, yeah, these are things I did in the past. I will never be this person again. I can't imagine why anyone would put you through that. You just seem so genuine, His gaze lingers, then drops briefly to your lips before looking away. You shouldn't have to go through stuff alone. You should have a supportive family, a friend that genuinely cares for you. He smiles warmly, brows tying together softly. I could always be that for you, and more, if you're into that. Oh my God, I love him so much, but I hate him so much. I mean, this is a date, isn't it? You laugh softly, not quite expecting the warm rising in your chest. Maybe, yeah. I'd kind of like to see where this leads. Avon's eyes gleam. Pleased, not surprised, but pleased. He pulls away, but keeps his distance. Of course. Even if no one is there for you, I will, promise. He shifts a bit closer, the edge of his thigh now pressed to yours. I think I'd like that. His hand, still resting on your knee, moves in slow, idle circles. He spoke softly as if the dead could hear him, smiling gently. Good. I was hoping you'd say that. I'd always keep you safe. Laughing slightly, to ease the tension, you decide to move the topic to something more light. You both sit on the edge of the blanket, your drink settling beside you. Avon has been talking for a while, drifting from subject of classes into random tangents about life. So, you're 25, right? Are you still in school? Yeah, I study at Denver University, working towards my master's now. Any good? Yeah, school's fine, I guess. You? Nice. I actually go to community college at the moment. Saves money. How's the university? It's cool. Lots to do. But sometimes I just ditch and go check out abandoned places or drive around with friends. Clears my head. You laugh lightly. Which one do you actually enjoy more? Avon smirked. Both, actually. Man's gotta have hobbies other than death and whatever other legal shite. Okay. Your smile falters a bit at the casual way he said it. Avon's eyes flickered to you. He could tell you weren't entirely comfortable with the joke. Avon then sighs and leaned back, flashing a quick smile. My bad. His voice was teasing as usual, but softer now. You want to hear some poems? You raise a brow. Oh, poems? Yeah, I've got a bunch saved. Avon hummed, sitting up and already unlocking his phone. Oh, he's so cute. And the thing says poems. Renee actually heard some of these before. He talks about Renee like as if they dated. I wonder if they had something going on, or if they didn't date, were they just kind of like F buddies? Renee actually heard some of these before. You nodded and smiled. Sure then. He scrolled for what he was searching for and began reading. The first one was raw, almost uncomfortably so, but being a desperate child who always felt like an intruder in his own home. Avon searched your face for your reaction. You smile in interest. Your face didn't move. You frown in disapproval. You smile in interest. Honestly, I felt like that in my own house, my own mom's house too. That's why I don't call it home. I could say like, oh yeah, I'm going to my mom's house. The second was darker. It was about teenage years, adrenaline filled, defiance written and drenched in trouble. It was full of excitement only committing a crime could give. Avon searched your face for your reaction. Face didn't move, I guess. The third and last one felt like it was about someone older. It held the same trouble as the last, perhaps even worse. But it was heavy and reflective. Avon searched your face. Smile and interest. When he finished the last line, his voice lingered in the air for a moment before he spoke again. I wanted to be a good person once. Maybe I was. But it was so long ago. I'm not sure anymore. Guess that's what shitey parents and no internet safety does to you. You sat there and thought, and that's when you noticed a soft patter around you. It started to rain. The thick leaves above your head shielded most of it. At least we're under a tree. He muttered as the two of you watched the droplets fall just past the edges of the blanket. Silas hung between you until you nudged him. Keep talking. He didn't look at you at first, but then his eyes scraped slowly to the corners, glancing over at you. You ever want to disappear? You stared in momentarily shocked. Yeah. What kind of question is that? No, dude, what the F? I mean, weird question, that's for sure, but sometimes, hold on, my alarm's going off. Weird question, that's for sure, but sometimes, not in a literal sense, of course, more like just taking a break from everything, a restart. I understand that one. Kinda, yeah. That gets, things get hard. Yeah. I think mine is more in between like this than this. Like sometimes I just feel like I'm a burden on certain people in my life. And I'm just like, I want to disappear for, like, not die. Let me make that perfectly clear. I'm not trying to myself, okay? I just want to close my eyes and just go to a, not a dark place, but maybe like a comfy, cozy place and just be there, just exist in that realm for just a little bit. It's just, that's what it kind of feels like. Need to restart? I think, okay, so we already read this. Avon looked shocked momentarily, but then smiled. You're quite thoughtful, huh? You laugh, mainly at his observation. I am. I guess it was a bit deep, huh? Avon stopped you with a small shake of his head. Not at all. I'm actually glad you thought about it. Shows character. You look at him, not sure if that said character was a good thing or not. Avon rolled his eyes. It's a good thing. I like it. People that show something other than surface level, that is. I mean, he's very raw with his emotions and stuff and how he feels and the things he's done, that it's understandable that he would want somebody to match that energy. Like, I'm being raw and open with you and showing you the worst part of me. I want you to show me the worst part of you. You thought for a moment. I get you. People just kind of see one side of a coin without bothering to see the other. Avon smiled. It seemed genuine, more genuine than any smile throughout the entire date. The rain that splattered around you grew heavy, thunder crackling angrily in the distance. The trees that once saved you from getting your clothing soaked now did little to filter out the rain, the blanket around you both also soaking. Frick! Oh, shite. Dang. I didn't think it would rain. You stood up quickly, trying to block your face from the rain. Avon looked around quickly and grabbed your arm. Come on. Where are we going? He swiftly pulled you under the stone hedge that led into what seemed to be a mausoleum. You both leaned your backs against the stone wall, catching your breath. After a few moments, you turned to look at each other. You both couldn't help but laugh at the situation. Thanks. Quick thinking there. Yeah. Wouldn't want my date to get wet, would I? I think you would. In this moment, I think you would. Wringing out his hair, he took it out of his ponytail and muttered to himself. He shook his hair and massaged his scalp, allowing his locks to fall along his shoulders, letting out a content hum. Much better. He is so cute. I can't stand it. He smiled at you playfully, teasing you. You're shivering. Yeah, I guess a blanket can't do much when it's wet, can it? You laughed, pulling your arms closer into your body. If you want, I could hold on to you. We could keep each other warm just until the rain calms down enough to walk you to the car. Hold me? You suddenly feel warm already. Avon lets out a guffaw at your flustered face. Yeah, hold you. Come here. Don't make it awkward. Avon pulls you closer into his chest. He was warm, and his cologne brought a sense of comfort, same as the blanket did. It almost made you relax against your will, keeping you inhaling and steady. You didn't entirely notice it before, but despite his frame, he seemed well built. His heartbeat, despite anything, was steady. You looked up at him as he smiled down at you. Better. Quickly, you turned your head away bashfully. I would be blushing too, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, actually, a lot warmer now. Your gaze made its way back towards him. The way his wet strands of hair clung to his neck and curtains around his face made you blush. Getting a closer look, you locked into his eyes. They almost made you forget where you were for a moment. The way the red rings pulsed ever so slightly, it was hard not to get lost in such unique irises. You fell over your words, mouth suddenly dry. Something caught your eye, or is something on my face, Dove? I can't. He can't be the one. He's too scary. He's too scary. His voice was soft and sultry, slipping into your ears like silk. What? Oh, wait, Dove? Avon chuckled at your confused face. Dove. Like a morning dove? Ah, I see. Seems so dark. To most. It's sweet in its own way, I guess. Avon brought his hand to your face and wiped away the stray hairs that clung to it. Your cheeks are so warm. And we know which ones he's talking about. Do you like that name, Dove? What? No, I did, but that's not why. It's just that you're super close. Avon cocked his eyebrows slightly. Not used to it, Dove. You didn't say anything, and he let out a sigh, often thought, letting his hand find its way back to your waist. He simply stared off into the rain and back at you. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. When he looked back at you, there seemed to be more rings in his eyes, much more than before. They were still steady, however. Oh my goodness, it's so loud. Make sure it's not too loud in y'all ear. They were still steady, however, so maybe you were imagining things. A wild smile set on his face. You know, Voyia, I really, really enjoy spending time with you tonight. So did I. Avon giggled and sighed, looking at you with something like relief. You just seemed to listen, and I really was happy to hear about your life as well, you know. I don't get to open up much without being judged. I like that about you, Voyia. You don't judge. You listen, even if it was a lot for a first date. You laugh along with him as he pulls you in closer. Do you guys remember when SpongeBob was running from the guy, the strangler? And it was at the end, he's like, I finally got you now. Ha 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 ha. And SpongeBob's like, ha ha, yeah. And they're both laughing together because SpongeBob feels no danger. But meanwhile, this man's about to strangle SpongeBob. This is the feeling I'm getting. Like, boy, it's like, ha ha, yeah, I had such a great time too and stuff. And meanwhile, he's like putting on his black gloves so he can rip us to shreds. You laugh along with him as he pulls you closer. I didn't mind. It's a breath of fresh air, kind of. And you're a pretty interesting person. It was great hearing your stories, even if it was a bit dark or heavy. I'm glad you think so. You two stare at each other's eyes. His grip around your waist tightens slightly. Not saying a word, you just focus on the other, faces an inch apart. You didn't know what made you gravitate towards him. Maybe it was the mystery, or maybe you just liked standing so close to something dangerous. Your heartbeat raced. You didn't understand why, but the feeling was there. He must have caught onto your thoughts because, even though you weren't expecting it, it was what you wanted, deep down. Even if you tried to deny it, he seemed to know. Oh my God, he gave me kissy kiss. That's so sweet. He gently pulled you in, making your heart pound so loud, and you were sure he could hear it. Then, all at once, he caught your mouth in his, reckless and trembling. Your eyes shot open in shock. At first, the kiss was gentle and soft, like a first crush, innocent even. You melted into it, closing your eyes and letting it continue, the feeling devouring you whole. But it shifted, it grew hungry. His lips crashed harder against yours, pressing you back against the cold stone. Oh my God, sir! Your lips parted, letting him in. His trembling hand slid up your jaw, pulling you in deeper. Oh, he's so sweet. And scary at the same time, and bad. He's so bad. He is really bad. Your name left his lips in a gasp, kiss becoming messy and frantic, borderline desperation, near obsession. His heated breath brushes roughly against your skin as the kiss deepens, with his hunger making your breath catch. It was a feverish way his teeth bit your lips, demanding further entrance. It was as if he wanted to eat you alive. When he pulled away, he was breathing hard, a shaky breath escaping him. The rings in his eyes pulsed rapidly, bright in a dim light. Frick. Oh no. Oh no, there's hearts in his eyes. He's cooked. He's hooked on me. No. You caught your breath as he stared at your face. Voyia, I really like you. I really like you too, Avon. Avon's face darkened. Oh no. No. The smile widened in a way that didn't settle right in your chest. Yeah? You nodded slowly, still drunk off the heated kiss. I'd like to keep you, Voyia, to myself. Forever. You wouldn't have to worry about a thing anymore. I'll take care of you, and you wouldn't even have to lift a single finger. Ever. A hitch of his breath passed his throat, giddy but real. The world doesn't need you. It doesn't deserve you. Oh no. Heat rose in your face at his words. I'm so scared. I think he's gonna me. I really think he is. Keep me? Forever? Like, date? No. No, Voyia. That's not what he means. Confusion washes over you. Didn't he just confess? No? But didn't you just say you liked me? I did say that, didn't I? That's why I am so sorry for this, Dove. I'm just simply never letting you go. Oh, God. Of course, I'm too nice for my own good, and it got me killed. You tried to ask another question, but a sudden sharp pain in your back causes you to gasp for air, making your legs freeze and paralyze. You look below you, blood pooling directly behind your feet. Great. Of course I would find this ending first. Huffing and clinking reflexively into the man in front of you, Avon pushed his long switchblade deeper into your spine and into your body. Thousands of questions flooded your mind as shock and fear suddenly filled your senses. You tried to scream, but as Avon pulled his blade out, blood filled your throat, choking you. Clutching desperately onto his chest, you staggered and nearly fell before Avon caught you. Shh. You're already making such a mess, my dove. Your eyes locked with his, focusing on his handsome face as you gripped onto the last breaths of life. His eyes pulsed rapidly, and your desperation giving him a rush of adrenaline and overwhelming love. Avon unlocked your tight hands from his shirt and held them lovingly, smiling as the life slowly drained from your eyes. He was smiling. Tears welled up as unconsciousness threatens to take you. His breath quickened as he held you, thumb wiping your tears away. You're right. I did say I like you, but no. I feel a lot more than that. I love you, Voyia. He grinned, bringing your now heavy rolling head to his, placing a single kiss on your lips. This time, he didn't close his eyes, no. Oh God, this is psychotic. He looks crazy right here. His eyes burned into yours the whole time as your life slowly slipped away and you were nothing more than an empty husk. Dang it. Yep, that's me. Pulling away, he allowed your body to drop to the ground and wiped off his lips. Looking around the entry of the mausoleum, he sighed heavily. Frick. I have to clean this. A week had passed now, and Avon had successfully gotten rid of all the evidence connected to your death. It was part of his profession, after all. What kind of criminal would he be otherwise? He got rid of everything, but not of you. No, he kept you. And he planned to for as long as possible. That is what he promised, right? He kept your body cold, slowly the decay process in the morgue, the same morgue connected to the cemetery you died at. You were an amazing listener, and you just got him. One of the many things that made him like you so much. But with that, you easily let your guard down. Oh my God, him in his little morgue clothes. He liked that. He liked easy targets like you. He spoke to you at times, told you about his day, ranted about co-workers, and practiced his studies, all between him completing his assigned work with autopsies and embalming through his day-to-day. There were only 2 cameras throughout the entire building, one in the front and another where money was held. Awful security, neither of which were passed through during his day-to-day, and given his time there, no one really questioned the presence of another body or 2. Avon sighed as he glanced over your body on the autopsy table. He dressed you nicely and kept you looking well, taking care of you just as he said he would, just like a doll. Oh my God. I'm just dead and he's just having fun. Taking off his gloves, he hauled and rigged your body against the wall and laid his arms along the metal table. Are you excited for tonight, voyia? Of course you couldn't respond. You were dead. We're going to celebrate. He giggled and held your hand, massaging the stiff limb from its cold state. I decided to take you for dinner. Oh, okay. There's a small restaurant I rented out in the outskirts of town. Don't worry about the pesky cameras. They won't find you. With a gentle kiss to your hand, he grinned to himself. If they do, which they won't, you'll already be cremated and food for fish at the bottom of the lake. He giggled to himself. Imagine that, looking for a pile of ashes. He stared into your closed eyes and sighed, letting go of the cold limb. Don't look at me like that. It's not happening anytime soon. Avon couldn't help but lean in, bringing his fingers to lift and close your eyelids. Dolly. He closed in and swept your eyes down once more with a single finger. Dolly. Avon couldn't stop himself from lifting each of your arms up and swinging them back and forth, the same way a child would do a life-size doll. With a childish giggle, he nuzzled his nose against your empty husk. He hummed at his own antics and straightened with the same sickening smile. I'll get the car ready. The ride was long, and the car was kept freezing cold, but the 2 of you made it eventually, him and you, or well, your corpse. He sat across from you and smiled as he drank his champagne slowly. God, this is fun, isn't it? Oh, if only I was alive to enjoy it. If only I was alive to enjoy it. Just you and I. Not a camera in sight at this place. Huh? He enjoyed his food, speaking with you, asking you questions. It was truly one-sided conversation. But he smiled happily, enjoyed his time with you, even if you were dead. Drinking the rest of the champagne, he tilted his head at you. No, voyia, you hardly touched your food. He sat up, grabbed his coat, and pulled it over his shoulders. He walked over to your side of the table. He leaned over to your ear and whispered as if you could ever hear him. But it's not like you ever could, huh, voyia? Yeah, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He grinned, eyes pulsing manically. He wasn't delusional, of course. He knew you were dead. But he fully intended to make every moment that much more fun for himself. You're really like a doll, Dove. He giggled, eyes becoming half-lidded as his nerves calmed. Come on, let's go home. Ending 4 of 4. I love you to death. Somehow I got the 4th ending. Let's go back in. Thank you for playing A Date at the Cemetery Chapter 1. Be sure to rate the game here and stay connected for further games and updates. That is so sweet. Can I see the gallery? We got 3 of the crazy pictures. Let's go see if we can get some more. Suddenly, his face fell, completely unreadable. I can't skip this part. Though, there was a faint edge of irritation on the way his jaw tightened. He forced out a sigh with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. You know, I've been trying this whole time, right? He sucked his teeth, thinking, but it feels like you're not. Or maybe you could never really get me. You froze, caught off guard by the sudden shift in attitude. Like, you hate me or something. You get it? Everything I say, you shut down or twist or just... He clicked his tongue, letting out a dry, humorless laugh. We just have different opinions on things. Nothing wrong with that. You wonder why he was so upset. Thankfully, the day had already gone sour. You just wanted it to end, to go home, and maybe block this number the second you walked through the door. Desperation had drug you into this thick mess, and now you wish you left earlier. He smiled tightly at you. Yeah, they say opposites attract, don't they? In the corner of your eye, you caught something glinting in the moonlight. Your chest tightened. What was that? Too bad I'm not the kind of people they're talking about. Oh my God. Catching a glimpse of the glint, you instinctively stumbled back as it made its way towards you. Avon's face turns irritated, no, angry, as the rings in his eyes pulsed rapidly. You glanced down at what he was holding, recognizing it as a long Swiss blade. That's a butcher knife, a butter knife at best. That's way worse than a Swiss blade. What the frick? Your heart hammered rapidly in your chest, breath becoming uneven and jagged. What the frick is going on? Oh my God. Is she just getting scarier? He's getting scarier and scarier every time. Avon's chest rose and fell with adrenaline as his one angry face twisted into a maniac smile. Waiting no longer, he lunged at you, making you roll out of the way and into the rough stone pavement. Damn it. Hearing Avon's sharp snarl of frustration, you scrambled to your feet and bolted outside of the mausoleum. Please tell me we get away. You ran through the maze of trees and tombstones, your breath ragged as the cemetery swallowed you whole. Heavy, rapid footsteps pounding after you, closing the gap. Oh, you really think you can run from me? His voice was low but loud. You tried desperately not to slip, every muscle screaming at you to keep moving. Your mind spun with 1,000 thoughts, each one sharper than the last. You should have gone on a date with a guy you barely knew, especially not at night. You should have told at least someone where you were going, but no. Now the only thing you wanted was to curl up in a hole and cry. Instead, you push your body forward, forcing your way through the unfamiliar graveyard in a blind attempt to find the exit. Hopefully we find the exit. You thought you remember where it was, but even if you made it out, then what? He had a car, you didn't. You couldn't outrun him all the way back to town, could you? The city wasn't far. Not really. You were in the middle of Denver, for frick's sake. But the nearest major buildings were half a mile away, their glowing windows hidden by distance. Smaller shops, side streets, parks. They had to be closer. If you were lucky, you might stumble into someone, anyone. But was it too late? Would anyone even be out there in this hour? Oh my God. He just looks like, come here, I'm gonna get you. Go on, keep freaking running, voyia. Hope you know I'll find you, like I always do. Like he always does? What does that mean? He did this to other people? It's It's actually cute how desperate you are. His voice swung into a high giggle, voice rasping between breaths. You're pathetic. He spoke like it was all a game to him, and maybe it was. He sounded way too happy for it not to be, and the way he smiled at you before you ran sent shivers down your spine. That's gonna make me cry. You thought fast, finally approaching the exit. Where would you go? You couldn't run down the roads. You had to go where he couldn't see you. ... Trees. You could go through the trees. You made a sharp turn as you exit, stunning Avon for a second as he looked around for where you could have gone. This gave you time to sneak into the trees that surrounded the cemetery and make your way towards the city. You ran through, hoping the rain would filter your footsteps. I know you're somewhere in here, voyia. I'm gonna cry. He laughed with glee as you heard the crunch of his own feet from a distance. Come on, don't hide. You stopped running and stood paralyzed in fear. Every nerve in your body screamed to turn around just to see how far he was, but you forced your eyes forward, scared that a single action alone would make all the efforts go to waste. So you kept going, but slowly. You made slow footsteps, shoes crunching between twigs and leaves towards what sounded like a busy street. You made good progress too, hoping filling your chest as you inched closer and closer to safety. Occasionally, Avon would taunt you, his mere presence making you feel dizzy. You just wished that it was over. The street wasn't too far now, 3 yards or so away, and... You raped in pain as you fell into a drop near what looked like a small pond and a crashed truck. Oh, no. You fell on the branch and clutched your back in pain as you cried out, the stream of water failing miserably to muffle the sounds of pain. You wonder if Avon heard you, but you didn't hear anything, hopefully not. Let's hope we lost him as we casually just run in. You laid there for a moment, taking in your surroundings, catching a glimpse of the path that led you upwards to the busy streets just ahead. All you had to do was get up and get up to the road. It was so close now. Safety was so close now. Trying to stand up, you winced in pain, your ankle throbbing from your fall. But you had to push through. You had to. Wobbling in pain towards the path, you heard a shift behind you. Before you even had a chance to look, you were quickly tripped and your ankle was stomped on as you fell. Oh, great. It's a done deal. Rolling onto your back as you cried, you saw Avon loom over you. Avon smiled as he breathed heavily and trapped you below him, placing both legs on either side of you. He giggled in delight, quick and breathy, as he took in a horrified expression on your face. I would absolutely just be done. Like, at this point, I'd be crying and fighting. Oh, come on, running away from a date? That's not very nice, Dove. Leaning down to meet your nose with his, he watched closely as tears streamed down your face, amused at your pathetic attempt to wiggle away. Blade in hand, he grabbed both your wrists and held you in place. Let me go! Someone, please! Ugh, disgusting. He framed a sympathetic look before taking his tongue and dragging it slowly along your tears-stained cheeks. At least let me have some before you... No, I can't be like... Well, don't judge me, okay? Because he's just... Look at what he's doing. He's sick. You whimpered at the feeling, sick to your stomach before scrambling out from his grip. You somehow managed to flip onto your stomach, trying desperately to crawl away, but it was no use. Avon simply laughed and drove his blade into your calf. Crying out of the sudden searing pain, you instinctively tried to hold your leg, but were quickly reminded of the circumstances. So you kept crawling, praying to any god that was there. Please, please, God. Anyone, help me. You whimpered out as you pulled yourself to the path. Avon simply trailed behind you, slowly before yanking the blade out of your calf and pinning you to the ground once more. It's done. It's a done deal. He yanked your head back quickly by your hair, just enough so you could look at him in the eyes. There was an uncanny number of rings in his eyes, pulsing in and out at rapid speed. There is no God here, silly thing. Avon's voice drugged somewhere between a laugh and a snarl before suddenly cutting. Avon closed the distance between you and whispered against your ear while pressing his bloody blade against your neck. But you sure did make this game exciting for me, didn't you, Dove? He smiled. But playtime is over. The expression on his handsome face dropped before dragging his knife sharply against your neck. That's it. Blood spilled out in thick streams before you even got to say a word, the red liquid choking your airways as you tried to gasp desperately at the pain. This is hurting me. It's like I can feel it. My throat started hurting too. As if it would change a thing. He flipped you over as he spat at you through gritted teeth. I hate you, you know. He smiled thinly as his eyes bored into yours. But I'll like you a lot more once you're dead and silent. You can't say shite, you morally superior F. Your consciousness faded in and out as you continued to bleed from your neck, sputtering and choking beneath him. That's right. Bleed out, you itch. Ending 2. I hate you to death. Yeah, thank you for playing. So at least got a new picture. I guess it's time to go back in. So it wouldn't let me skip past this, so I'm assuming that this is a different ending. I'm a little excited. When he looked back at you, he gave you a gentle smile. It was kind of smile that could melt someone's heart, and it did. Yours fluttered as you two sat together under the rough patter of rain. You rested your head gently against his chest. The steady rhythm of his heartbeat filled your ears as a yawn slipped out. The limbs of your body had grew heavy, rubbing your eyes. Your thoughts moved slower and slower. You hadn't realized just now how tired you were after such a long conversation. Avon's eyes softened as he shifted, lowering you both against the stone floor of the mausoleum. Oh my God. Is he gonna take me right here? Please do. Don't. Look, I can dislike him and still let him hit. That's not a thing. That's not up for discussion. Letting you rest against him. Oh my God, he's so cute. Oh. He sighed in thought, glancing down at you as your eyelids grew heavy. Oh, that's so sweet. It's fine to nap. I'll wake you up once the rain clears, so don't worry about it, okay? You nod tiredly and finally allow sleep to take you. As you slept, Avon muttered to himself and thought, I like you, kinda, in a weird way. I guess I can keep you around, see what you're about. He laughed quietly to himself. Congratulations to you, I guess, huh? Interesting enough to keep around. At least you weren't boring. He leaned his head back against the cold stone wall, eyes drifting shut for a moment. You really are lucky, you know, Voyia. You just don't know. Oh, I know. I know how lucky I am right now. Time passed. When you stirred awake, Avon was gently shaking your shoulders. Your eyes fluttered open. Outside the mausoleum, the rain has slowed to a drizzle. Sleep well, Dove? You yawned, stretching as you sat up. Yeah, I guess the conversation and the rain really put me to sleep. It's not that you're boring or anything. Your voice is just soothing. Sorry about that. Avon chuckled, offering you a hand to help you up. All good. He pulled out his phone, checked the time, and sighed. It's getting pretty late, huh? Guess I should drive you back home. Oh, that's so sweet of him. He guided you by hand back towards the soaked picnic spot, collecting a few snacks and handing them to you. For the ride. Wait, what about the rest of the stuff? Avon glanced over his shoulder and shook his head with a smile. I'll come clean it up later. Let's just worry about getting you home for now, okay? No, he's so sweet. When he wants to be sweet, he can be sweet, but he's a monster, and not in us. He's a monster. He's a monster. If you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm throwing. That's what he is. You nodded, following him down the path to the entryway of the cemetery. Back at his car, he stashed the snacks, then opened the door for you. And he's a gentleman. Wow, a man that's willing to off me because he loves me oh so much is a gentleman? Insane. As you settled inside with a sigh, he slipped into the driver's seat. Before starting the car, he pulled out a long switchblade and placed it casually on the control panel. Your eyes widened and shocked slightly at the sight of the blade. Did you always have that? He buckled his seatbelt, glancing between the knife and you. Yeah. Keep it on me in case anything bad happens. Out of habit, really. You laughed nervously, trying to poke fun as he started the car. What? Did you think I was some serial killer here to take your organs or something? Avon gave you a once-over and let out a short laugh as he pulled out of the lot. No, I think it's the other way around, honey. He was planning to do something to you. You? Not in a million years. You giggled as the car rode down the empty street towards your house. The ride was full of chatter and jokes as Avon held your free hand in his, rubbing small circles on your hand with his thumb. He is freaking cute. Oh my God. Why is he so... Creator, why did you make him so fine and so scary? Before long, you stood outside your place. Avon got out too, grabbing his jacket and leaning against the car to watch you walk up to your door. Thanks for the date and for driving me home. Avon grinned playfully, rolling his eyes. Of course. Sorry you got wet though. I didn't get wet enough. You could have did extra. No. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. This one is bad. This one is a bad guy, for real. You glanced down at your damp clothes and shrugged. A little rain never killed anybody. I guess you're right. Well, tonight was nice for you. I'll let you get inside and settle. You nodded with a smile, turning on your heels, but before you could step away, his hand caught your wrist gently, turning you back around. Oh, he gave us a hug. Before you could ask what was wrong, he leaned in and pressed a small kiss on your cheekbone before pulling away with a fond smile. Thanks for the date tonight. Have a good night, Dove. You stammered, cheeks hot. You too. Blushing, you watched him head back towards his car, but before getting in, he glanced back at you with a small grin. Until next time? You smiled and nodded quickly. Yeah. He waved you off, and you slipped inside, shutting the door behind you. You smiled to yourself. The date wasn't half bad. A little creepy, sure, but not half bad. Ending 3 of 4. Until next time? ? To be continued. Ooh, I really do like that ending to the point where I would have rather stopped it right there, but I highly doubt we didn't get all the pictures. So we're going to go back in and try to find this last picture, and then it'll be over. God, he's so cute right here. I love it. I love everything about that. Even here, he's cute. Oh my God. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Because if I could stare at these pictures all day, not this one, not the bad one, but I could stare at those pictures all day. Okay, I think I found the last ending. I don't know. When he looked back at you, he gave you a gentle smile, but it slowly fell. You two waited out the heavy rain patiently, eventually sitting against the wall in your own spaces. He scrolled through his phone as do you, just enjoying each other's company as the wait passed. And, soon as it did, as the rain turned into gentle sprinkles, he checked his phone from the time and sighed. It's getting hella late, huh? Guess I should drive you back home. You look up at him. Shite, you're right. Okay, that one wasn't too bad, but at least he's not trying to schmill me. Avon stood and brushed his clothes off and nodded his head as you followed him back towards the pathway to the entrance of the cemetery. What about the rest of the stuff? Avon glanced over his shoulder and shook his head. I'll come clean it up later. Let's just worry about getting you home for now. He looks so angry. Please don't bonk me on the head on our way home. You nod in agreement and follow him down the path back to the entryway of the cemetery. Finally, back at his car, he opened his door and got in. It was like he was lost in thought. Oh no. You took it as a sign to get in as well and finally settled with a sigh. He didn't even open our car door for us. That's insane. You were glad the rain had stopped so soon. The date was getting weirder and weirder by the second. As you relaxed, he took out another thing, a long Swiss blade, and placed it on the control panel before starting up the car. Did you always have this? He clicked in his seatbelt, looking at the Swiss blade, then at you. Yeah, I keep it on me in case anything bad happens. He's so cold right now. He's like, I don't even care, whatever. like I'm getting you home and I'm never calling. I'm blocking you. I'm the murderer and I'm blocking you. Making his way out of the parking lot, he didn't really talk for the rest of the ride. He was just thinking. His face looked like it carried regret, like lost opportunity, but he was still polite and spoke occasionally for the sake of things not being awkward. You two arrived at your place, and he got out of the car and watched you walk in. Thanks for the date and driving me home. Yeah, of course. Rain was a killer, though. Yeah, I don't think he's going to call me anymore. He glanced down at the rain, dampened clothes. Little rain never killed anybody. I guess you're right. Well, tonight was nice, voyia. I'll let you get inside and get settled. You smiled and nodded, turning on your heels and walked inside your place. After that, the two of you barely talked, just here and there, but it never went any further than that, and neither did the connection. Even when you two did see each other in person, felt as if you were looking at the perfect mask. You did push one day, however, asking was wrong. But when you did, he had nothing more to say other than a small laugh and, don't know, you're just kind of boring sometimes, you know? And so you left it at that. Ending 1 of 4. I'm boring. I got ending 1, 2, 3, and 4. You called me boring? To be continued. How dare you? Huh? He called me boring. Sorry if your idea of fun is nothing but freaking murder. I need to go figure out how to get this last picture. Maybe I can't. I don't know. It's just a demo anyway, but I'm going to figure it out. Okay. I remembered I didn't click this. So, I guess maybe insulting him. This is after he talked about his friends and stuff, so we're going to say this. What the hell is wrong with you? You recoil, disgust written all over your face. You killed a cat and thought that was okay? His smiles falter, brow twitching as his eyes narrow just slightly. It was dying anyway. You don't know the full story. But you freaking let Zed around those people? And then you have the nerve to talk about him like some toy? Uh-oh. maybe this was the picture we were missing, because I don't remember seeing him ever this angry. Oh my God. His jaw clenches as he sat up. He laughs, snort, sharp and joyless. Xander wanted to be there. He could have always said no, Voyia. Avon rolled his eyes dismissively. Except he couldn't. Sounds like you didn't give him a choice. You're never giving him a choice. Yeah, you did him dirty. Avon goes to speak, but you're quicker, if only by a second. And don't get me started on all the shite about Wes. He could have been fine, but you just... He cuts in, voice suddenly louder, tone defensive. Oh God. And just what, huh? Wes made his own choices. I didn't hold a gun to his head. I wouldn't be surprised if you did. And who knows if your connection with Renee is even real? Avon's eyes stared daggers into yours. If looks could kill, you'd be dead as the bodies beneath the soil by now. Your tone evens, steadies. Look, I don't care what you've been through. There's just no excuse. No better that you're all casual about it. You glance away, bringing your knees into your body. His mouth opens, but nothing comes out. He stares at you as if seeing you differently now. He whispers under his breath with a snarl. What? Oh no. Hey! You! Oh! Look, I actually do cuss in real life, okay? I was about to call him the B word. You was about to get it. Quickly, your head snapped back to meet his gaze. What? You think you're better than me, huh, Voyia? You stared at him in disbelief, weighing your words. Suddenly, this felt less like an argument and more like your life is in danger. Was in danger, is in danger, is in danger. You decided to take things more easy. This was a date after all, and you didn't want your name ending up on some shady true crime broadcast. I didn't say that. That's not... No. I get you had to make cash. Went through some shite. I get that. But don't we all? Avon lets out a breath from his nose bitterly. For a moment, you could have sworn you saw the black rings within his eyes contract. It's just... I don't know. You need help, Avon. There was a pause of silence, a long one. He turns his face away from you, expression unreadable at first. That was until his jaw tightened. His gaze dropped to the floor, cold and calculated. When he looks up again, it's not at you, it's through you. Like something behind his eyes clicked. Oh no. So, that's what you think. Then he smiles. He doesn't say another word, just stares, breathing slow, eyes sharp, like he was thinking, plotting. Oh, great. I'm going to skip it forward and see if anything new happens at the end, and if not, we'll probably see if we got the last picture and probably end it. Well, I think getting this ending is the best thing for me. I'm going to leave it like this and just let it be ending 3. Because he could have cooked me. Let me see if I got all the pictures. I did. Okay, that was the one we were missing. It was him being angry that we didn't get to see. And technically we do see him angry, but it's more crazed than anger. That's pure anger. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. I hope you guys have fun listening to me go through this game, because oh my God, it got hectic. It got crazy. It got interesting, but I'm happy that I played through it. It was a long one. It's going to be a long one, but I might break it up into parts. Maybe. Just maybe. They said this is only chapter 1. Maybe there's going to be a chapter 2 and a chapter 3. Maybe we'll end up dating. Who knows? But if you're excited to see what happens in chapter 2, then like, comment, subscribe, join me. Don't just support me, support the creator so they know that you guys enjoyed their story. And with all that being said, peace and love. Stay safe out there, everybody. Bye-bye.